right, let's take a look at some graphs in Desmos. Same thing that we did on my little paper graphs that I was looking at. But these would be, they're much better than the ones that I drew in. So the first one is a quadratic. So it's the one here in the red, x plus 1 squared minus 2. We're going to go through and find the domain and the range. Now, this is a quadratic function. For all quadratic functions, all parabolas, the domain is going to be all real numbers. So you can go ahead, when you see a parabola, go ahead and say domain, all real numbers. Now the range is going to change from problem to problem. So I'm looking at the range here. Range is top to bottom, looking on your y's and seeing what your y cannot be. So this pink line that I'm drawing in here, your graph is not getting below this pink line. It'll never be down here, down here, down here, down here, down here. It does not get below this line here. So your range is anything greater than or equal to -2. And I got -2 from this number that I'm circling right here. I got it from right there. So my domain is all real numbers, but my range is anything greater than or equal to -2. Now, if I were to make this a negative, so I'm going to come up here and add a negative in front of my parabola, like so, and make it flip downwards, as you can see there. So this time, because I flipped it, this time my range does not get above this line. So this time my range would be anything less than -2. So y would be anything less than or equal to -2. So depending on the direction of your parabola, if it's opening up, it's going to be anything greater than the certain number that the cutoff point is. And if it's going down, like the one here, it's going to be something less than whatever your cutoff point is. So just be conscious of that. Let's take a look at some more. Let's take a look at this one here in the blue. So this one here is a square root function. So it's f of x is equal to the square root of x plus 4 minus 1. So if I'm looking at this one, I want to look left and right. So let's start with our domain. My domain does not get past this point, this line here. It does not get past -4. So my domain is going to be x is greater than or equal to -4, because it can be -4, it could be -3, -2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. My domain is anything greater than or equal to -4, because my graph does not go past this point. If I'm looking at the range, I'll do that in the blue here. The range does not get below this point. So it does not get below this line here. Sorry, I went a little off there. It does not get below this line. So that line is 0, 1. So this line is 1. So my range would be anything greater than or equal to -1. And my domain is anything greater than or equal to, and that number is -4. And if I make some parallels to my equation, notice it was x plus 4 on the inside and then -1 on the outside. So my domain is any number bigger than -4, and my range is any number bigger than -1. Okay, number 3. So number 3 is a linear function. It's the one in the green here. All linear functions, so this one's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. All linear functions are all real numbers, domain and range. So domain and range, whether it's a positive slope like this one here or a negative slope going the other direction, domain and range are all real numbers. And the last one, this is an exponential function. So it's exponential growth. You read a graph from left to right. So we're going left to right, and then it shoots up, so to speak. Your domain is going to be all real numbers, because on this side, it's going to go, on this side, it's going to keep going left and take care of all the negative numbers. And then this part that's curving up is going to take care of all the positive numbers. So my domain for this graph is going to be all real numbers. The range is not all real numbers, though. Let's draw our imaginary line in here. It does not get below the x-axis, and that was terrible. Let me try one more time. It does not get below the x-axis. So this is my cutoff point. Okay, so the x-axis is my cutoff point. It does not get below this point. So my range is anything greater than 0. It'll never be -1, -2, -3, -4. It does not get down here. It's a big gap down here. It does not get down here. So my range is anything greater than 0.